Hi, my name is Jacob Schultz, and I work in the data science team that's working on Inda, which is a HR solutions software that uses artificial intelligence. And what we're going to talk today is generative AI, a little bit about it. In order to illustrate what's happening in our brains, I'm going to have you go through a little exercise. Imagine that your friend says, yesterday I went to a store, but it was too early and the store was, and then you almost instantly know that the next word is closed, right? You might even have to resist the urge to interrupt your friend and finish the sentence for her. The question is, how did you know? Most likely, it's because you've already heard this sentence many, many times. It's already been stored in your brain as the most common way to finish the sentence, and that's how you just knew. This is exactly how large language models work. They are a piece of software that's been trained on trillions of words. It's really many, many texts worth of trillions of words. And they essentially learn what words tend to be close to or follow other words. In order to pay attention to the context, because context is always very important in a language, they use a technology that's called the transformers. And this is really the magic behind the generative AI. You might already know one of the large language models. It's called ChatGPT. It's a very famous one now. But today we're going to have a look at and use a different model called Zephyr. And let's have a look. First, I'm just going to run the setup where I load a particular client for the, as you can see, the Zephyr model. And the next thing I can do is I can ask it, please generate a piece of text. And in this case, you can see I'm calling the function text generation. And I'm starting the piece of text is, I went to the store, but it was too early, and the store was exactly like in our previous example. And let's see how the text generation function continues the sentence. So we run it very quickly. It actually gives us the answer closed. Exactly how I would have thought about finishing the sentence, or what a human reaction would be to that sentence. And this is exactly what the designers of these models were trying to do. They were trying to have it absorb how language is structured so that it can give responses or generate text as a human would. And we can go one step further and have a look at the next type of text generation, where I started what's called a prompt. I work in human resource, and I'm about to have an interview with a potential candidate for the position of a front-end developer. Can you please suggest 5 questions I can ask this person? And as you can imagine, this is very useful or can be very useful for the human resources environment, where you would like to have a suggestion of what should be the right set of questions to ask. So let's see what it does. I run it, and it takes a little while, but then it spits out 5 questions. And they're not necessarily bad, right? First one is, can you walk me through your process of designing and developing a website or web applications? I mean, this seems like a reasonable question to ask during an interview. And so this was a very simple example of what can be done. We have actually worked a little bit harder and created a much more complicated prompt that should give you much more interesting questions to ask. And so we have decided to create a piece of software. We call it Reginald. It's on our website. And here on this screen share, you can see how to use it. I already pre-typed front-end developer, as was done in the previous section. And I'm going to generate interview questions. And as you can see, it generates a set of questions. You might rate them, maybe you like them, maybe not. And when you submit your response, the software will actually generate another set of questions with slightly different parameters. And you can keep going like this until you're tired of this, or if you want to change the particular subtitle you're looking for. And this is just one of the nice examples how a generative AI can be useful in the HR sector.